This is Delhi. Please stand by for the next broadcast. This is Akashvani. We now present a feature titled Birds on the Move, Nature's Timeless Pilgrims. Produced in the backdrop of World Migratory Bird Day, the feature is structured to create an engaging and educational experience. It also takes up the conservation efforts, raising issues like threats to migratory birds and their natural habitats. 5 Akashvani Kendras have contributed in different formats. Relax and be part of the oldest pilgrimage made not by humans but by the birds. Birds on the Move, Nature's Timeless Pilgrims.
One day, sage Valmiki was observing a pair of conch birds, engrossed in a moment of intimate love. A hunter suddenly shot the male bird with an arrow. Witnessing the bird fall and the female bird cry out in agony, Valmiki was filled with sorrow and rage. His grief then flowed out in the form of this perfectly metrical verse.
Ma nishad pratishtham tvamagamah shashwati samah yat krauncha mithunadekam avadhih kamamohitam.
It is believed that the divine sage Brahma then appeared before Valmiki and instructed him to compose the story of Bhagwan Ram using the same poetic meter, which ultimately became the Ramayana.
The Ramayana is an expression of human feeling, thought, anguish, understanding, anger and despair. The unexpected brutal attack on the male conch bird immensely hurt the sage. Conch, in modern terminology, can be understood as the crane, the egret or stork.
The bond between humans and birds is that ancient, when humans had not raised the artificial boundaries of nation-states. The whole world was one family. Humans and birds and other native species of Earth roamed about in every nook and corner, fearlessly, without any visa or passports.
Humans are now bound and chained. Birds are free. They don't consider any imaginary lines as boundaries. They leap into the sky and fly off to their favorite destinations year after year. Regularly, since time immemorial, they are truly nature's timeless pilgrims.
While the birds have not forgotten their lessons, men are needed to be taught their lessons and also reinforced. That is why World Migratory Bird Day is observed twice every year.
For a change, we'll also forget about the length and breadth of our nation, don our wings, and fly across many states to catch the essence of these timeless pilgrims as we trace the origin of the World Migratory Bird Day and why it's celebrated twice a year. Our first flight is to Kerala. Praveen J, a passionate bird watcher from Kerala and a scientist at the Nature Conservation Foundation, explains.
World Migratory Bird Day is observed every year on the second Saturday of May and October. It was initially established in the United States to raise awareness about migratory birds. Later, the United Nations body called the Convention on Migratory Species, or just CMS, realizing the need for international cooperation to protect them. The 2 days mark the two main migratory periods in the year when the birds are on the move, spring and autumn. Birds don't know borders, at least not as we humans understand. Their journeys often span continents, so protecting them requires collaboration between countries. It is also a way to educate people about threats migratory birds face, from habitat loss to climate change, and to celebrate their role in ecosystems and cultures worldwide. Truly a natural wonder. Birds migrate mainly for two reasons: for seeking food for their survival, and secondly, for suitable breeding grounds to further their progeny.
One wonders how these birds navigate such long distances to take these annual pilgrimages generations after generations and never fail to reach the desired destination. If you too are having such questions in mind, Praveen J has got the answers.
To navigate, they use a mix of cues: the sun, stars, Earth's magnetic field. Birds can actually see the magnetic field, prominent land features, and even smell. Birds can use multiple of these cues simultaneously with one backing up the other. Just like we use Google Maps, and if there is no network, we look for signboards. Similarly, if the sky is overcast, then birds will use magnetic field for navigation. Some species travel astonishing distances. The Arctic tern, for instance, makes the longest migration of any animal from the Arctic to the Antarctic and back, over 70,000 kilometers a year. The bar-tailed godwit is another marvel. One bird was tracked flying about 12,000 kilometers non-stop from Alaska to New Zealand without resting over the Pacific Ocean. It's like a human running 300 marathons back to back.
Fayaz Ahmad Khudsar, senior scientist at Yamuna Biodiversity Park, Delhi, further elaborates on the importance of this annual migration of these birds and the need to protect their flyways.
They are coming from extreme north towards south when they have unfavorable condition where wetlands get frozen. They have less food available, and therefore they start coming towards the resource surplus area like India. We should welcome them because they provide us a lot of ecological services which is not directly visible, but they are essential for our own survival. If they stop coming, the major problem I see the pollination, seed dispersal, especially the pathogens. Pathogens, pest and pathogen will increase largely because it's a cyclic, routine, annual ritual which animal comes and goes back, especially the migratory birds. The most important part which I find that the characteristic nutrient cycling, which is very essential for functioning of an ecosystem, will disrupt. And if ecosystem is disrupted, the major task of ecosystem services that brings you air and water will be disrupted.
Birds don't understand borders, don't recognize man-made partitions. They religiously undertake their annual pilgrimage to the sites that existed even before man-made partitions were created. One such site is Gharana wetlands at the India-Pakistan border in Ranbir Singhpura, known for its world-famous basmati rice in the Jammu region of the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. We moved closer to it for a feel of the place. Sanjeev Sharma, the producer for Akashvani Jammu, fills in.
Gharana, a small wetland situated along the line of actual control Indo-Pak border near the villages of Gharana and Gharani in Ranbir Singhpura Tehsil in Jammu district about 35 kilometers south of Jammu city. It is also recognized as one of the important bird area, IBA internationally. Sources of water into the wetland is from anti-tank defense ditch along the border, which is fed by the Ranbir Canal. Ranbir Canal is fed by the waters of River Chenab. Dr. Neeraj Sharma, Associate Professor, Department of Environmental Sciences, University of Jammu.
Situated along the Central Asian Flyway, this 250-acre wetland provides critical habitat for over 35 species of water birds and an equal number of wetland-associated birds. Each winter, more than 20 transboundary migrants flock here from Russia and Central South Asia, making Gharana a vital stopover on their migratory routes. Some of the key species recorded include bar-headed goose, grey-lag goose, greater white-fronted goose, ruddy shelduck, common teal, northern pintail, Eurasian pigeon, gargany, gadwal, northern shoveler, common pochard, knob-billed duck, tufted duck, ferruginous duck, pheasant-tailed jacana, painted woolly-necked and black-necked storks, black-headed and glossy ibises, and many more. Gharana supports an impressive 170 plus bird species, including a large variety of migratory raptors, making it a critical habitat mosaic, providing an ideal refuge for the birds.
The significance of the wetland is that it is situated along the two important flyways, Central Asian Flyway and East Asian Australian Flyway. Rakesh Verma, Range Forest Officer, Jammu and Kashmir Forest Department.
The diverse habitats within the reserve, ranging from open butter to reed beds, provide ample opportunities for various birds to thrive. The seasonal changes in the wetland also influence the types of birds that can be observed during migration. emphasizing the ecological importance of Ghana as a stopover point along migratory routes.
This land is yours as much as ours. Rest here and may the stories of our togetherness travel far with you on your next flight.
Many nations acknowledge this need and work for the development of such ecosystems. India's capital, New Delhi, is surrounded by many natural bird habitats. Right in the heart of Delhi is Yamuna Biodiversity Park that was created by Delhi Development Authority. Fayaz Khudsar narrates the story.
It is government initiative. Actually, Government of India organization, Delhi Development Authority has given land and money and scientific inputs from Delhi University working together to see such blue-green infrastructure. Delhi Development Authority is known for development of cities, but when they thought of bringing life to it, only then you can get quality of life. Such in green-blue infrastructure comes into existence, and this is the first biodiversity park of the country. When you come in winter, you will see large number of migratory birds from Siberia, Central Asia, Europe, and nearest from China. Great cormorant comes from China quickly, because by 15th of October we expect a lot of cormorants reach here. And there's a black big bird, fish-eating bird. And then slowly we see that how northern shoveler, gadwall, all has started coming. Even red-crested pochard, which is the beauty of this park, in fact, attract a lot of visitor, which starts coming from Central Asia and Siberia. Probably it is the only heronry in Delhi where you see large number of birds in the month of April and May breeding, and especially the beautiful black-crowned night heron. Such a beautiful bird, and there are noise all around you will see during that month.
India is lucky to have a number of these winged pilgrims flock to a number of places. Our notified wetlands are 102 in number, a whopping 15.98 million hectares, constituting nearly 5% of its geographical area. These include a rich diversity of 75 Ramsar sites designated as wetlands of international importance under the Ramsar Convention. The need to conserve wetlands and bird habitats was understood by rulers long ago. We now take you to Jorhat for this amazing story by Khurshid Ahmed and Biswajit Das.
Majuli, the world's largest inhabited river island, rests upon the Brahmaputra in Assam like a jewel of time. Nestled in this riverine island of Majuli, Soraisong, Assam's first bird sanctuary, nearly 4 centuries old, stands as a symbol of Assam's rich environmental and cultural legacy. Dr. Prabal Hoikia, a renowned ornithologist.
390 years ago, the Aum King Pratap Singh declared a wetland as Soraisong to protect migratory as well as residential birds. And it is said that this is first kind of the conservation initiative, or what you call is the present time bird sanctuary by any royal family or royal king in entire Asia. Most of the long distance migrants to Assam and other parts of northeast India are from Tibet, Manchuria, Mongolia, Russia, etc. etc. Of about 96 species and subspecies of birds recorded in Assam, about 290 are long-distance migrants. Most conspicuous winter visitors are the ducks and waders. A study conducted was recorded that 170 species of birds recorded in the wetlands.
Nestled upon serene Majuli, Soraisong unfolds like a living poem of water and wings.
I am Gobind Kumar Khaun, writer, journalist and secretary of Majuli Sahitya and Soraisong Festival.
From October-November, just after the paddy harvest, Soraisong becomes alive with the wild geese, storks, moorhens, and many more than 80 species in total. Imagine the sight. A herd of buffalo with egrets perched on their backs. Flocks of wild geese glistening from afar, and in the evening, thousands of birds cutting through the fog. Soraisung is not just the pride of Bhokutiduar, it is a treasure of Majuli, a heritage of Assam, and truly gift to the world.
I am Kamal Datta, President of Majuli Sahitya. With a vision of preservation and revival, the voluntary organization Majuli Sahitya has initiated the Soraisung Festival from 2024 onwards.
When November steers the air, Soraisung quickened with the arrival of birds, both familiar and from faraway skies. Weaving melody with silence, and travelers, enchanted, come seeking this fleeting festival of flight and freedom.
Praveen from Kerala explains in detail about the migratory bird stopover in Kerala.
Our migratory birds are largely of two kinds. One that visits the forest and the other visits the wetlands. Our forest migrants cover a short distance relatively, mostly arriving from the Himalaya, while the wetland birds come further afar, from Russia, Central Asia, and some even from the Arctic. Low-lying wetlands like Kol and Kuttanad host a very large congregation of some water birds like Gargani, black-tailed godwit, ibises, and storks. In the larger context of the Central Asian flyway, they are a home for a significant world population of some of these birds. We do have a smaller number of birds that use Kerala as a stopover site. Amur falcon passing through Punjakari is a great example. These wetlands act as a refueling stations for birds on their journeys from northern Korea to southern Africa.
Based in Noida, Rajat Sethi is an avid bird watcher and photographer who was lured into this passionate hobby 20 years down the line by another bird watcher.
I went with him for birding, and believe me, it was a fascinating world. I got so hooked on to birding. If you really observe birds carefully, you will see the kind of variety that you have in birds, the amount of commonality in terms of how protective they are about their families. You know, it's so interesting to observe when you actually get interested. And then, of course, slowly I got into bird photography.
Rajat has travelled to many bird sanctuaries in India and shares an interesting story of Kitchen in Jodhpur, Rajasthan, where the locals extend a lavish welcome to the migratory birds.
This is a very, very small village in Rajasthan, Kitchen, near Jodhpur. We went there because we heard that there are thousands of migratory demoiselle cranes which come there every year without fail. It was an amazing sight, Nitish. Never seen the number of cranes at one point in time. There were almost 15 to 20,000 cranes flocking all together, all thanks to the efforts of the villagers of Kitchen. A few cranes used to come and they start putting out grain. Slowly and slowly, as the years passed by, more and more cranes started coming, and now it is an unbelievable sight out there because almost 15 to 20,000 cranes come every year. They fly all the way from Siberia and Mongolia at a height of 15 to 20,000 feet during winters before they move on. The villagers are so dedicated to these cranes. They lay out tons and tons of grain on their fields and on the floor, and there's a designated areas now, and the birds come every year without fail to this one small village in a small part of India, and how they're able to figure it out is absolutely unbelievable and mind-boggling to the human brain.
Scripted by Ella Kaina in the voice of Imtinaro, a production of K. Rutsa and Muammar from Akashvani Kohima, is the story of the cuckoo. We now fly to Kohima, tracing the timeless journey of the winged pilgrim.
The arrival of the bird cuckoo in spring has long been used by the people of Nagaland as a signal for important seasonal tasks. The cuckoo song serves as a natural calendar, guiding the community through the rhythm of agricultural life. Though unknown, we'll sing of its glory. Cuckoo, harbinger of seasons, our hearts adore. The cuckoo brings wind and rain's gentle sway. With the cuckoo's arrival, seeds are sown.
Koko is a seasonal migratory bird found in all over Nagaland. We later call Tato Kapo. It is a significant bird in our folklore. During our forefathers' time, when they heavily rely on nature and animals' call for seasonal changes, this Gogo bird also played an important role by letting them know by his call that it is time for seed sowing, especially to plant paddy. Kato Kapo Jo, 你牵我入嘎，엄보나바나 리찬자나라。
Our ancestors used natural signs like wildflowers and bird chirps to determine sowing time. The cuckoo bird was considered a precise keeper of time for agriculture. There are two types of cuckoos, a smaller one with a soft, repeated call, and the larger one with a sharp, non-repeated call. The smaller cuckoo's call during springtime signals the time to sow seeds. The bird's call from higher slopes indicates the start of sowing, while a call from lower altitudes predicts rain.
My name is Lansatong Lota, and I am a range forest officer with the Nagaland Forest Department. And when we talk about migratory birds of the state, there is no other species that is more prominent than the spectacular Amur falcon. Many other species also migrate to the state during winters, the winter visitors. The wagtails, the stonechats are among the most prominent ones. We also have other migrants that visit during other parts of the year. The pied cuckoo is a bird that arrives in the region for breeding during the summer months. An article published by BirdCount India discusses how the pied cuckoo signals the onset of the monsoon rains. Migratory birds around us can tell us a lot about our environment, our forest, and about climate change, a phenomenon whose impacts the world is greatly facing today.
Conservation efforts of the people are impressive, as traditional bird hunting during festivals is now a celebration of bird counting.
The Tukumang Bird Count is the first bird documentation effort in the state, held annually from 4th to 7th November. This is the peak season of the Amur falcon migration, which also coincides with the post-harvest festival of the Lota Naga tribe. In addition, scheduling it in the month of November also ensures that we can document many of the winter visitor species as possible in a place that is known to be one of the most diverse regions of the world, yet in a very fragile state in the recent years.
With the end of the paddy cultivation season, the sound of the cuckoo fades into silence as they migrate southward, only to return the next year.
Let's now talk about the challenges that this annual bird pilgrimage is facing. Every expert, be it a bird watcher, photo enthusiast, Rajat Sethi from Noida, senior scientist Fayaz Khutsar from Delhi, or Praveen from Kerala, they all echo similar views and fears.
I think the biggest challenge in India is our shrinking wetlands. Because of mass development, construction activities, the areas that are available for birds is reducing.
It's a very difficult question, I tell you. Across the world, different species, whether it's a tiger or bird or whatever, they are in great trouble.
Populations of migratory birds are declining faster than their non-migratory counterparts. Habitat degradation due to land conversion, urbanization, hunting in some regions, collisions to man-made structures like tall buildings, windmills and power lines, and quite possibly climate change, disrupting the seasonal patterns, all are impacting migratory birds.
This raises an all-important question: how can we create more bird-friendly societies and areas? From Noida, Rajat Sethi.
We need to create green belts around our cities. In urban areas, create green corridors, linking parks, gardens, water bodies to form a continuous flight path. Limit the use of pesticides and chemicals. Involving school kids and youngsters to participate in bird watching.
Praveen from Kerala further adds.
Yeah, there are global treaties like the CMS and the regional agreements like Central Asian Flyway Initiative, which India is a part of. On the ground, conservation groups and governments are creating protected wetlands, bird sanctuaries, and conducting awareness campaigns. But public participation is the key. When local communities care, conservation succeeds. Migratory birds do need more attention from us.
It's good to observe that the interest in bird watching and their protection is on the rise. And that's why it's so important for the new enthusiasts to be introduced to a few common practices while approaching these winged pilgrims. We start with Rajat Sethi.
Ensure that we maintain a certain amount of distance between the birds where they are nesting and ourselves. Please make a little effort once to come out. And all you need in terms of investment is a binocular and a bird field guide.
Praveen updates on a few important points.
Anyone can start bird watching. You just need a general curiosity and perhaps a pair of binoculars. Citizen science platforms like eBird allow you to log sightings, which becomes your personal digital notebook. At the same time, it allows scientists to use them to track migration patterns. There are also bird identification apps like Merlin, which is integrated with eBird. Local bird clubs also organize walks during migration season, making it a fun community activity.
Dr. Bakul Trivedi from Bird Conservation Society Gujarat has this to add.
પહેલા તો તમે એન્જોય કરો. Just go out.
Firstly, you should enjoy watching birds. Go out as much as possible. Winters may give you a lot of bird sittings in large numbers, but summers are unique too. You get to witness a different aspect of bird behavior. So be outdoors as much as you can. Keep notes of what you see. There is community service too. You can place your data on eBird platform and share with others.
એટલે એ રીતે આને આપણે કોમ્યુનિટી સાયન્સ કહીએ છીએ.
Right from Maharshi Valmiki-inspired Ramayana to Abhigyan Shakuntalam of Kalidas, John Keats' Ode to a Nightingale, or P.B. Shelley's To a Skylark, birds have been a perennial source of inspiration, symbolizing freedom, spirituality, the poetic process. They have influenced cultures the world over. As Praveen J. puts it,
definitely, migratory birds have influenced culture world over. Swallow. One swallow doesn't make a summer clearly indicates a connection with migration. White storks in Europe, they were supposed to bring babies. It was not until they found an African spear on its neck that people realized that the white storks in Europe must be going to Africa. In Kerala too, bird motifs appear in local art and folklore. When the great poet O.N.V. wrote the poem Avanipadam, the setting was a paddy field during bird migration. In fact, he makes a humorous reference to human migration to the Gulf countries as well.
It is important that the United Nations body, Convention on Migratory Species, or just CMS, realize the need for international cooperation to protect migratory birds. But more important are the efforts of human beings on Earth to realize that planet Earth is a common habitat for every species.
Mother Nature, the prettiest of her creations, the birds will keep on flying, spreading the message of universal peace and brotherhood.
Their ancient roots are now challenged by changing climates and shrinking habitats. Yet, every year, they still take flight, trusting the wind and the world below. Protecting these timeless pilgrims means protecting the balance of nature itself. Because when birds thrive, so does the earth.
As the seasons turn and skies once again fill with the sweep of wings, we are reminded that migration is more than a journey. It's a heartbeat of the planet itself. From the tiniest warbler to the mighty albatross, each bird follows a path written in instinct and starlight. Their travels connect continents, ecosystems, and ultimately us all.
Birds on the move, nature's timeless pilgrims.
Birds on the Move, Nature's Timeless Pilgrims. That was a feature written and produced by Nitish Arora. Narration by Vineeta Thakur and Manoj Mainkar. With contributions from Akashvani Ahmedabad, Kohima, Jammu, Jorhat, and Akashvani Thiruavnanthapuram, this was a presentation of the Central English Features Unit. and came to you from the Delhi station of Akashvani.